Pete. If you're here watching this, you're the Replay crew, and thank you very much for being a part of the community. And, yeah, I don't know. Let me tell you a secret about myself. What's a good secret about myself? I actually have a political science degree. It's not really a secret. Hey, let's see. How many people we get on the stream today? Ka-chow. I really need to get my other light set up in here, but Jesus. It is, tell you folks, it's a weird setup right now. We have barely any of our stuff. I'm gonna grab my other light from the other room on the off chance that this light dies, because I think it will, because it's on a battery. Let's think here. So it is zit. Oh boy. Hey, look at that. No one's watching. I could say whatever I want. Maybe I'll say something controversial, but probably no I won't. Apparently the most controversial thing I posted this week, that's what I should do. I should have like a TikTok roundup. Hey, click clack, what's good? Spagoli, 30, Tammy, how y'all doing? I was just talking to myself and saying maybe I should do like a TikTok roundup. You're in class right now? Oh my God, what class are you in? Maybe I can help you. Yeah, I'm gonna help you cheat in class. Please tell me your teacher's like asking questions that I can answer, because I would love to see if I'm like smarter than a 5th grader. Or I'm not saying you're a 5th grader, that's just the name of the show. Although there's like a 10-second delay on Twitch, so it might not be. That might be detrimental. Your teacher might be. Ooh, biology. Okay, that's like my least favorite. That was not my greatest subject. If you were in literally any of like the social sciences, I'd be like right there to help you out. But biology, I mean, I know the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That much I know. Beyond that, I'm good. Andrew G. Hey, man. It's good to have you here, brother. Thanks for, It has been a little while. Yeah, our house is completely different. Can you see that there's my puppy dog. Hey, Teddy. Can you see that like my kitchen is completely white and super boring right now? That's because we actually sold our house. And so technically someone else owns this now, but we're just living here for another couple weeks. Because that's how the cookie crumbles. Ooh, look at that light. All right. Yeah, she's better. Okay. Cool beans. How y'all doing? Yeah, and we're gonna help Click Clack with their biology if they have any sweet questions that we can answer. But yeah, so I'm living out of basically what feels like an Airbnb or a rented property now. We've got almost none of my stuff. I don't have my good cast iron pan, so I'm using basically a poorly seasoned carbon steel pan, which I haven't had time to properly season yet. I know, sue me. The way you season this is the same way almost you season a cast iron pan, where you like coat it with a little bit of oil and you essentially bake it until you get a fine, ultra thin layer. Oh boy. Biology. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna help with biology. But yeah, we're gonna make a little crunchy lunchy. It's gonna be delightful. Do I need the oven? Yeah, we'll need the oven on. We're going to do first is we're going to make some, we're going to make some like garlic oil. Not quite sure what I'm doing with this whole garlic oil thing. I'm just kind of ripping off my buddy Chef Salty. But I've also got a ton of garlic that I need to use up. So we are going to, and I don't even have a proper it sucks, I don't even have a proper cutting board cam, because everything is just all messed up. But hey, for those curious, we did buy a new house, and we will be moving in near the end of May. Yeah, so when I say when am I going to be living there, it's gonna be May. That was a terrible joke. Alright, yeah, so we're going to get a bunch of this garlic all prepped up here. I don't even have a good cutting board anymore. But what are y'all doing today? We got someone in biology class. We got somebody at home sick. I hope you're feeling okay, by the way. Hope you're not sick with anything too serious. Actually, I hope you're not sick at all, but being as you are sick, I hope it's nothing serious. I haven't gotten sick in a while, man. It's been great. That is one of the serious, I think, advantages to wearing a mask constantly, or having to have the last year, is I haven't gotten a single freaking cold in 2 years. I haven't got a cold. I haven't got the flu. I basically haven't been sick in 2 years. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is humans are disgusting, and I don't like them. What we got? I gotta ask, how's the kitchen in the new house? The kitchen in the new house is a lot bigger. It's currently set up really weird, but it's a lot bigger. It's got a killer hood fan, which I'm super excited about. Studying for a religion test. Oh, okay. I can help you with that, probably. I studied religion at an academic level. No, I didn't actually. I took a couple of courses, but very cool. Tammy's cleaning. Oh, nice. I should be doing a little bit of cleaning around the house, but I'm hanging out with you guys instead. So what we're going to do here is we're heating our nice carbon steel pan up here, and we're getting a bunch of little garlic cloves prepped and dealt with, because I had a bunch of extra little garlic cloves. None of them were particularly good or big. You have recovered from COVID. Hey, that is fantastic to hear, my friend. That is absolutely fantastic to hear. Ooh, but something we need to get going here is a cup of coffee, because I've been like slacking on my coffee game. And my good friends over at King's Coast would be, like blood or viruses. Ooh, yeah, what sort of... Hey, Gridiron Guard, missed the opening. What are you cooking? We haven't quite decided what we're cooking yet. I'm basically stuck in my house here with next to no food and ingredients. So we're going to try a couple things. But at first, we're going to make a nice garlic oil. And we're going to kind of rip off the steves of my good buddy, Chef Salty, who's a ramen... Well, he's a chef, but he runs a little ramen restaurant in Rutherford, New Jersey. So hey, if any of you are in New Jersey or in that area and you can get over there, you should seriously go visit Chef Salty. He has sold out of ramen the last couple days, or at least the last day. He made just enough orders and he sold out, and like as a chef, that is like the coolest feeling. Especially I know for him where this is his entirely like his place, his menu, his stuff, and so yeah, man, it's super, super cool. But yeah. Ooh, got a free class. Oh, a free class. I miss having free classes. That was a fun thing about high school. Hang out in the hallways, chit-chat with folks. All right, so as you can see, we are basically just skinning these garlic and giving them a smush. We're not actually trying to chop them up too much. We want to keep them nice and whole. But yeah, we're going to make some killer garlic oil. Hey, Louie, how you doing? Eat egg, please. Okay. If you... Let me see. If you gift like half a dozen subscriptions, I will eat a raw egg. But I'm not some kid on the schoolyard. Actually I am some kid on the schoolyard, I guess. But I'm not doing it for free. There will be no free egg eating. I believe that's a viewer reward, actually. Is that not a viewer reward? Chill on COD mobile? That is funny. I've never played like video games that much on a mobile device. Is that a thing that like do people actually use their phones to play video games now? How do you like? Isn't the screen way too small? Like I literally can't even picture that. My buddy plays Fortnite on his Switch as his like primary console, and like he plays on the screen, and I don't know how he freaking does it. I mean, he's terrible at the game, so maybe that's why. But oh my god, the absolute... I'm just going to slander my friends from now on. If you want to hear me slander my friends... Hey, Andrew, great catching up with you too, brother. We'll chat again. Maybe in the comments section, maybe here on Twitch. Hope to see you soon, buddy. I get the Pete part of your name, but why? why the early part? I could make up. Do you want to hear the real reason, or do you want to hear the fake funny reason? Because the real reason is very boring, unfortunately. Mobile phones are big enough. Are they though? Can you really see? I guess. Can you see the detail? I guess with a, I don't know. It just feels like, okay, well, if you were at home and you had the option to play it on a monitor or like on a phone, which are you choosing? Because I'm assuming the monitor is better. Like, I get that they are big enough, but I guess if everyone's playing on mobile, though, it doesn't really matter, does it? The real reason, okay, Poe. So the fake reason is because I get up early every morning and stream for you guys. That's the fake reason. That's the very fake reason. It's because my last name is Early, and I'm not very good at coming up with names. So I wanted to come up with a handle that was mostly my own name, but would also sort of like sound like a like a nickname or like sound something interesting. And so my name is Peter Early, and I decided I would go with Early Pete. It's super not that exciting, unfortunately. Unless you consider the history of Irish last names particularly exciting. Okay, play a console at home. I mean, fair enough. I guess it's just that you want a game, and it doesn't take away from your enjoyment that much, which is totally fair. Now, I'm assuming you play with headphones, right? You don't do, like, no headphones on a mobile screen, because that seems like that would be impossible. You'd have no game sense whatsoever. The biggest thing, that's what I say, is, like, the reason mobile seems so weird to me is because it just seems like it'd be much harder to have game sense when you can see, like, less of the screen. But one of your teachers is named Mr. Early? Hey, no way. Maybe he's my brother. Did he teach cooking? Because that would be funny. Maybe I'm secretly your teacher. No. Yes, we are going to be returning to normal streams once I move into this new house. It's going to be difficult though. I won't lie to you because just being in we don't have any food in the house, and we're basically just eating HelloFresh right now because it's simple and it doesn't really require you to have any actual ingredients in your house. But okay, so we're going to trim our garlic, and we're going to take off any, you see a little nasty bit like that? Oh, woodwork. I mean, that's pretty close, though. I was pretty good in tech ed. It wasn't my best subject, but I wasn't, bad at tech ed. Or woodworking class, as you might call it. But yeah, those are all our little bits of garlic, and so I'm going to throw out all this garlic stuff here. What are you running from? I gotta run. We'll catch you soon, bro. He's running from the hall monitor. Wait, are hall monitors still a thing? I feel like they can't possibly still be a thing. That's such we've turned the students of our school into a police force. Hope that's not still a thing. Okay, guys, we are gonna make some coffee. So we're just going to leave that water there. We don't really want our water boiling temperature. We want it just sort of just below boiling. James Hoffman, the legendary coffee expert, has a whole thing on it. But this has become my go-to way to make a cup of coffee at home. We'll catch you soon. We'll catch you soon. Okay, so we are going to measure out approximately... Hey, Gridiron Guard, subscribe. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Hey, thanks for subbing. Whoopin' Gangnam Style. Hey, thanks for subbing. Whoop, 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 whoop. Thanks for subscribing. Since I don't have my good emotes and stuff on the screen right now, I'm just gonna dance and sing. If anyone is so kind as to subscribe, but seriously, Gridiron Guard, thanks a bunch, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for the subscription. If it is something you have, if you have Amazon Prime, by the way, and you are a Prime user, you get 1 free subscription to Twitch, which you can use to any Twitch streamer of your choice. But hey, if you were kind enough to use that for me, that is an awesome way to support the channel. Why is there a politics section on Twitch? Well, that's a great question. That's a great question. It's the same reason there's a sort by controversial option on Reddit. Because sometimes people just want something to freak out to. And that's okay. Hey, we're going to do a quick little bit of coffee grinding here. So if you got those headphones on, this might be a quick time just to crank your volume down for a couple seconds. And then a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make it a beat. No, I'm not going to do that. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, you're probably like, why does Pete have the world's least good coffee grinder? And there's a funny story about that. Has anyone been here before when I've told the story of my coffee grinder? Because I gotta say, it is pretty good. Also, there are actually only 2 people. There's a bunch of people here. I hope everyone didn't take off. I'm so sad. I've got no friends. You've all left me. Is that grinder an F1 car? It is indeed an F1 car. Don't worry, it is gone. No, the grinder was a gift from my mom. It was a bit of like a joke in our childhood. So I've always been a little, I've always been a bit of a, well, not always, but I used to, or in high school I was sort of known as a bit of a pot smoker, you might say, a smot poker, pot smoker. And one day I heard this cool thing. I heard this thing that you could use a little coffee grinder to grind up your herbs in, and I ground up some rather potent herb, and I cleaned out the grinder. I thought very, very well, but my lovely sweet mother, who is an Anglican minister, a priest, if you will, and has never been drunk in her life, according to herself, and I think that's a bit of a lie, but anyway, ground some coffee beans in the coffee grinder that I had not cleaned out, and had a very interesting cup of coffee. Yeah. And then when she realized what had happened, she got rather cross with me. But a few weeks later, I got a wrapped up present, and I was like, what's this? And it was the coffee grinder, and she said, well, you may as well have it now because you've covered it with marijuana dust. But anyway, we've got a treat for Teddy. Let's give Teddy a treat. Theodore, here you go, buddy. Teddy boy, come here. Hi. You gonna say hello to everybody? Come here, Mr. Neon. Can you say a little louder? A little louder, please. Ooh. Ooh. Good boy, there's your treat. Oh, good boy. Lola, come here. One for you too, baby. Come here, sweetie. Lola, come here. Come on, closer. Come on, Lola. Hey, come on. There you go. Good girl. Oh my God, Lola's so delicate. Hi, everybody. Now, why do the numbers on the people who are watching keep getting so weird? I swear there must be more than one person watching. And Macbeth, how are you doing? How are you doing today? Okay, great. So I'm gonna heat this pan back up on a nice sort of like medium to low heat. Have you moved again? No, this is the original house. You can kind of tell. It's just everything is painted white because this is how we did it up for the sale. We had it professionally painted and staged and all that good stuff. And yeah, our furniture and everything we own is basically in a storage unit. And yeah, we won't have it back for a little while actually, because we're just not bothering to move stuff back in because we're only going to be here for like 3 weeks, but gotta have. Hey, Gridiron Guard, thanks so much, buddy, and thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. We'll see you again soon, real soon, I hope. So we're gonna now measure out 350 milliliters of lovely water here. Nice and slowly. Macbeth, how are you doing today? What's new with you? You say you're home with the vid. I'm assuming you mean kid. Home with the kiddo today. Well, that's nice. Is it like an off day for school, or was it a weather day, or what? Hey, how we doing? How we doing? Oh crap. Formerly Charlie Whiteshirt, but your name is actually Jamie. It's Jamie, right? There we go. Because I made fun of you by calling it Jamie. He's a character. No COVID? Oh no! Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. That is rough. Take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Follow all relevant medical advice. I don't actually know if drinking water is good. I just mean it probably can't be bad. Interesting. See, I find I'll remember someone's name if I make up a good mnemonic device. Miss Macbeth here, or Sarah, as we call her sometimes. I remember her is because her original username always reminded me of the play Macbeth, because Lady Macbeth obviously was a character in that. But yeah, so I've never forgotten it. Okay, we got our lovely cup of coffee. We're gonna let the pour over finish there. Bada boom, bada bing, and that's as simple as it is, baby. And that's just how simple it is. Hey, yo. Take me out to dinner. Now, here's the weirdest thing from this week. Let's talk about some of the weird things that happened to me this week. I made a post this week, what I thought was fairly innocuous, making fun of former American President Richard Nixon for being a generally poor president. And people started defending him. The only American president to ever have resigned during his term. And people were like, no, Nixon did some good stuff. Well, sure. But he did a lot of pretty crappy stuff, too. The hubby has missed it. Well, I mean, lucky hubby, but like, geez, that's rough. The whole household went down. All right, well, hey, you'll be fine. You just got to, as I say, keep up with that medical advice. Keep doing everything the doctors tell you. All right, we're going to put a bunch of oil into our pot, or into our pan here. Much more oil than you would actually think we need. We're going to keep the heat rather low at about a 3 or a 4. And I'm just going to put one of these bad boys in to test here. Woo! She bubbled on me. Because we don't want this like spitting like crazy. We kind of want the oil to be on almost like a simmer. Although, it's not really the right word. What, you've never eaten asparagus? Asparagus is delightful. You really should eat some asparagus. It does make your pee smell weird, but it is a delightful vegetable. I'd say asparagus is in my top 10 vegetables actually. Honestly, it's pretty darn good. I think we need some more garlic in here, so I'm going to take some of this other garlic clove that I was saving here, and we'll take about, I don't know, half of it. Some of the nice large pieces there. And I'm just going to really quickly get the skin off those. The way I like to do my garlic is I like to cut the bottoms off like that. Give them a squish like that. And I find more often than not that is perfectly sufficient if you want to completely just sort of like peel and have your big chunks of garlic. Occasionally you get the skin hanging on a little bit, but sort of cleaning it up with your fingers is usually pretty sufficient, but the key is to give it like a solid smush with your knife. You can't half-ass that or like pussyfoot it. You just kind of got to do her. Give her, as they say. All right, so I'm going to turn that oil down, so I can already tell that's a little bit hot. That's like okay. but we don't actually want our garlic to brown that quickly. I wanted that level of browning to take about 5 minutes. So, one of my top 10, hey, GF and Nixel, hello. Potato is the best vegetable for everything. Made into my favorite vegetables. Ooh. I mean, potato isn't even, it's not even fair to call potato a vegetable because it's just so much better than all other vegetables. Like, I don't know the amount of people that would see, like, a lovely plate of French fries, you know, fresh, crispy French fries right out of the fryer, and, like, a plate of, like, carrot, and be like, I feel like carrots today. That would be a wild person in my mind. I would not trust a person like that. But yeah, seriously, potato is by far the most superior vegetable. Not even, as I say, not even fair to call it a vegetable. We should just call it like a starch. Like, potato is the same as like pasta, you know what I mean? But yeah, we are just gonna let this garlic get oh so good. And then we're gonna have to get a little container for it. Like this. And we're just going to let this bad boy simmer down at a nice low temperature while we enjoy ourselves a lovely cup of freshly brewed coffee. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a cup of joe. Cup of joe, as they say. Oh, it smells so good in here, though. It smells so good in here. Oh, that's just unfair how good that garlic smells. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I'm going to try and get it on top of the garlic and not in the oil, because the salt will start to break down the oil. But what I actually want that to do is start drawing some of the moisture out of the garlic. I'm enjoying a lovely plate of breakfast. Oh, you're too kind. Inspired by me. That is one of the coolest things about doing stuff online, I gotta say, is people who have like made my recipes or like been inspired by something, because I don't even cook that much. Actually, it bugs me how much how little of my content is actually me cooking, because I love to cook. Yeah, I just find I have a better time cooking on live stream than I ever do making recipe videos or making cooking videos on TikTok. Like, they're great, and I love, you know, I like them, the result, but it's just so hit or miss in how well they perform, and it just takes like such a day. I have to basically put everything else aside on days I do that. But all right, let's give this garlic a little move around in the pan. Oh, now that is the right temperature. You can just tell that's the right temperature there. Beautiful thing. I'm going to turn that down even a little bit more, because we really want this to be barely cooking. Barely cooking. You have like 2 or 3 streams at least every week of you cooking. It's quite a lot considering the time restraints. Well, I know. It's funny, because I don't give myself enough credits for that sometimes, do I? But yeah, you're totally right. It is a fair bit of cooking when you actually do the numbers. But people will be people, you know, people will be people, and it just, I don't know why, but it's just like something about, ooh, you know what we can do? Okay, I've decided what we're going to make. We are going to do some fresh, crunchy, crispy fried potatoes with a fresh garlic mayo, a fresh scratch. Oh, do I have a whisk? Oh, I don't have a whisk, do I? Please say I have a whisk. I have a fork. Oh, God. It's gonna be quite a mayo. We'll do it though. We'll do it just for y'all. Gotta clean some stuff out of my sink. All right, 1 sec. Give me 2 seconds to wash a dish here. All right. Some people probably live in their kitchen day and out. It does. My friend, one of my friends on TikTok, Erica, was posting about that, or was saying about that in someone else's comments. How, like, you know, she spends 20 hours a week shooting and then 20 hours a week editing and posts 4 to 5 cooking videos a week. And then, like, it's so much. And a lot of times you'll just go through phases where no one gives a crap. And, like, you don't, and it's really hard. Like, you shouldn't be doing it just for other people, don't get me wrong. But it's just so much harder when you do something and then no one sees it. And you're just like, well, I guess nobody likes effort. I guess people just hate me. I'm not saying that happens to me that often, but it used to happen to me. Like when I first came on TikTok, I made a bunch of cooking videos, and none of them did well at all. I think you can still find them on my page, actually, if you go under like my cooking playlist. Some of them are still at the bottom. Not one of the very first one I did, which was like a vegan recipe. Just, I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but. Oh, sitting down and enjoying my food. You know, that's one thing where the reality breaks a little bit. I almost never eat my food when it's hot. Almost never. Because there's just like 60 things that I want to do before that time comes. And I just end up prioritizing, I guess, arguably the wrong things. But yeah. What you gonna do? I shouldn't complain. I'm pretty freaking privileged and have a pretty cool thing that I get to do every week. Not every week, every day. It's darn cool that I get to post videos and people see them, you know? A lot of people post videos and no one ever sees them. And that is, probably where I thought my life would be. Anyway, I don't have a paring knife, so I'm using my actual chef's knife to trim these potatoes, which is an objectively terrible idea. But anyway. What's she gonna do? I like to zone out when I'm cooking. Then when it's done, I have to run some small errands, right? Isn't that the funniest part? You put some, and then you just realize, oh crap, I might have this, that, and the other. All right, we are going to pull all the garlic to the side of the pan. Gonna let that oil just drain out right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it back, and we're just gonna pop a little bit more salt on top of our garlic there. And I'm doing this because salt draws that moisture out. And so when we go like that, it will have a nice big effect on everything. So we're just going to tilt our pan off to the side. And this is still on the heat kind of, but we're just going to let that salt draw some of the liquid out. Morning, what's on the menu? Well, I'm glad you asked. We just decided we are going to do some crispy pan-fried French fries. I don't quite know what to call them. We got to come up with a better name. Pan French fries. Pain français. Oh, we can't say pain français because that just means French bread. But yeah, we're going to do that with some fresh, beautifully made garlic mayonnaise. So we're just going to cut our little potatoes here into little fry shapes. We're not going too big. Are you going to cook the potatoes in the garlic infused oil? The garlic infused oil is going to be used for the mayo, for sure. But we might find some cool way to do the. We're definitely going to do it in the same pan, and we're not going to clean it out. So it should retain some of its garlic flavor. Okay, let's get our little potatoes here into some cold water. Now it's funny, if you look, the way chefs typically cut things is we do it like this. Is we do 1 or 2 cuts first, like if I need all my potatoes in half, then I need all my potatoes in half. Then you can stack things and line them up so that we can do twice the work in half the time, like that, and we get 2 whole potatoes cooked. Or you can just run through it, as I say. But when you're cutting stuff, try and think of it like that. If you need to dice 4 onions, don't dice 1 onion, stop, dice the next one, stop. Do everything. Cut off the tips and tails of all your onions. Cut in half all your onions. Then get your onions cross-hatched. Then, you know what I mean? Like, do it in steps. Yeah, I hate that when I sit down to a meal and I realize, oh shoot, I forgot my drink, and then I get up to get the drink, and then you get back down and you're like, ah crap, I need a napkin. Ah crap, I forgot the ketchup, or whatever else it might be. That is hashtag the worst. Alright, we're gonna get our garlic oil back here simmering. I just kind of wanted to slow it down. We're slow cooking this. We've got our little French fries in here. I sat there defeated by my own stupidity. Do you know partially why that is, or why I would guess that is? is because there's this weird thing when you pass through a doorway or when you enter a room, psychologically it creates like a block between your memories in that like you remember things, you only remember things relevant to the space you are entering, right? And so it's, I can't remember what it's called, but like essentially it's like space-specific memory. And yeah, and so if you forget something, if you like walk into a room and you just have this feeling, oh shoot, I just forgot what I was doing. Walk out of the room and walk back to where you started the decision to do whatever it is you were doing. But yeah, that is a little trick there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, a little bit of fresh coffee. All right, we need to get some eggs here. Lovely. And we are only going to take the yolks. So we're going to take 2 egg yolks. Oops. Forgot to move my camera back. This is what we're going to make mayo in. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to crack these over the sink because so living in a studio apartment is actually kind of king. It is. Just mind game myself till I remember it. I know, right? The worst is when a TikTok reminds me or like I want to rip off someone's idea on TikTok and I see a video and then I forget what video it was. Or I like click refresh on my For You page and now I can't get back to the video. I am just moving this egg between my 2 hands. That's the way I like to get rid of the egg whites. I just literally, between my 2 hands, just move it back and forth. And then you can also do that, and you can pinch off your little, oh god, I forget what it's called. The little white thing that sticks on the outside of the yolk that looks like a umbilical cord. I can't remember what it is. Anyway. You can just pinch that off. And we're going to pop that egg yolk right in there. We're going to make a rather yolky mayo. Yolks are more forgiving. If you want to emulsify oil into something, like if you want to make a scratch mayonnaise yourself, one of the easiest ways to do it is by having extra like emulsifiers. And so egg yolk is an emulsifier, whereas like a toum, like a Middle Eastern garlic sauce, is sometimes more difficult to make because you're essentially emulsifying garlic and oil together, and garlic doesn't mix with oil very well. So you have to kind of trick it into mixing it together. Yeah, what an exciting stream. Pete separates an egg white for 25 minutes. Welcome to Twitch. The Chalaza? I do way too much accidentally refreshing, right? Isn't that the freaking worst? And you're like looking for something and you just anyway, yeah. It is hashtag the worst. Okay. So, let's see how my garlic is doing here. Shout out to my barber dog. Oh yes, this garlic is getting lovely and dark brown. Now usually I don't encourage you to brown your garlic because it does create a slightly bitter flavor. But we are working with that and we are going to, it's going to infuse into this whole thing and hopefully taste more garlic than we do bitterness. I think that'll be the case. We're just going to squish some of these little garlic cloves down, squish out their innards, get all that flavor out of them. We're also taking the oil off the heat briefly. This will increase our cook time, help with our extraction. Yeah. Now we will probably need a little more oil than that, but that'll get us started for sure. Huzzah! What's your favorite cheese, Pete? Red Leicester is a really good choice. I love a good cheddar cheese, although I gotta say the Italian cheeses, like your mozzarellas and your provolones and things like that, and your burrata, I mean, those are so lovely because you can just mix them with so many other things. Mozza cheese on pizza and burrata with some olive oil and some honey. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. But I do love a good Roquefort. Like I do love a good stinky, like smells like feet kind of blue cheese. It just does it for me in ways other things do not, All right, we've got our exceptionally hot sauce, which I'm not going to use. And we've got a vinegary sweet hot sauce. Mozzarella is the default S-tier cheese. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, mozzarella is like the go-to because it's so palatable, right? It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor because it's fresh. So what it does have is just very like creamy texture. a very middle of the road sort of flavor. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna take our egg yolk, mix in a little hot sauce, which is essentially adding in vinegar for that. And I'm just going to beat that together. We're gonna add a tiny little bit of mustard. If I have Dijon, which I do, we'll add a little bit of Dijon mustard. I'm just gonna use the end of my fork to do this. Mustard, again, will help things emulsify, but it also gives a little flavor. Yeah, blue cheese is absolutely S tier in my opinion. Okay. Now, the key thing with mayonnaise, much like egg whites or other things where you are essentially changing the texture, like, you take egg whites from being a liquid to being a fluffy, stiff thing. We're taking this from being a liquid to being like a thick sauce. The big thing is you cannot have any water. You have to dry out your bowl very carefully, right? You have to dry off your utensils. You can't have a single drop of water because you are going to break your sauce. Because what happens with oil and water, right? Hey, Ranth, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you here. Love a Tuesday stream. You and me both, bro. We're going to get back to it regularly. I know I've been a little shit on the weekday streams lately, and I apologize. It is because I have been moving and selling and doing all sorts of adult stuff. Just not super fun. But it's necessary. Now I'm just trying to think of a clever way to strain my garlic oil. And I'm wondering if a coffee filter would do it. I'm wondering. I hear you, man. Switching to the Australian hours. Oh, boy. Roquefort with a lovely port. Mm-hmm. Macbeth, you're speaking my language, baby. Speaking my language? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, a good Roquefort with that is lovely. I am potentially making a huge mistake here, but we're going to do it anyway. So this garlic has got to cook a little while longer. We're making a killer garlic oil. Just look at some of the beautiful color we are slowly developing on this garlic. Oh yeah. Brie, you say? I'm a big Brie fan. Oh, I love Brie cheese too. A nice baked Brie or a baked camembert with a little bit of like fig jam or some chili pepper jam on top. Oh, buddy, that sets me off. Pesto and brie. Brie and salt. You're speaking my language, my friend. You're speaking my language. Yeah, absolutely. Hell to the yeah, as the kids say. Do the kids say that? I don't know what the kids say. What are the kids saying? I'm an adult now.
And don't get me started on adulting till I've had my coffee.
Millennials are the worst. Seriously. I am a millennial, so I'm allowed to say that. But we are the most insufferable internet folks, I gotta say. Pesto and brie. I do love a good pesto and brie. I love a good brie in almost any situation, to be honest. Although I find I don't love it on like burgers. Like if people put like a big slab of brie and pear on a burger or something like that, I just find it melts. Like it melts and gets greasy and it just like, it coats your tongue in the wrong way. Like you just get, But that's about the one thing I wouldn't use brie for that I think it gets overused for. Is anything that you heat, like on top of a burger, even in a panini, I don't think it's the most appropriate cheese personally. But each to their own. Each to their own. Now, the cool thing about this garlic is you kind of know when it's done when it stops bubbling, right? Well, I don't actually need the oven on anymore, I'm just realizing. We just had our oven on for no reason. Don't tell my wife. Please don't tell her, I'll get in trouble. I'm not allowed to run the oven without her permission. No, I'm just joking. Oh yeah. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, I think we're almost done. I'm basically going to crank the heat on this a little bit and just sort of like finish everything off. Because when my buddy Chef Salty did this, his garlic was like blackened when he finished. And I'm not sure if I'm committed enough to go that far. But we should probably get it a little darker, since that is the recipe. But that means if we turn the heat up, we got to keep stirring because we don't want anything to stay in one place and burn. Reminds me, I only get blocks of cheese instead of pre-grated because apparently they put. So they don't put shit. They don't put shit. They put cellulose, right? And cellulose you eat in about a friggin' billion other things. It's completely not harmful to you. Cellulose doesn't have any benefit to you. Like, it doesn't really carry any nutritional value. But it is absolutely, unequivocally safe. However, yes, it is coated on the cheese, and that basically prevents the cheese from clumping together. But when you melt it, like let's say you put a bunch of that type of cheese over your nachos, it's not going to melt in quite the same way. Like it will stay separated, and you'll see little like lines of cheese a little bit. But it is perfectly 100% safe. There's nothing sketchy or weird about it. It's not like a conspiracy. It's just one of these commercial food things. It's about as dangerous as citric acid. And citric acid is basically just pure lemon juice, which is used as a natural preservative. Very safe, very reliable. But what are we making? We're making some crispy fries, some pan-cooked French fries, and some garlic mayonnaise. So we're just making some garlic-infused oil now. We're going to strain out the garlic here in a second. And then we are going to use that oil to make our mayonnaise with. So I'm just basically moving this garlic around as it cooks in this nice hot oil. And then we're going to put it in our little strainer here. And yeah, we're going to make ourselves some pretty killer mayonnaise. This garlic, you can see, is just getting so beautiful looking. Just look at the color change on that since we cranked the heat up a little bit. Oh yeah. I just saw a vid talking about it, so I converted to, yeah. No, and look, that's a fair thing, because the thing you did was essentially it's not like you thought it was unsafe or crazy, but you just went to what you knew was a slightly more safer or more normal option that made sense to you. And that's totally, yeah, I don't mean to offer you criticism for switching or anything like that. I find blocks of cheese just generally are more practical, you know, more so than the cellulose. It's just the practicality. You can do more with a block of cheese. You can make slices, you can shred it, you can make little cheese cubes. You know, it's just more versatile. And pre-shredded cheese is what's called an added value product. And so they essentially can charge you 2 to 3 times as much as that cheese would cost you to buy in a brick. So you're just getting a way better deal to begin with, right? Unless your time is worth so much, or you're so short on time that you can't grate cheese, or maybe you have a disability and you're trying to cut out a lot of steps in your cooking situation because you're not good at holding things, or you don't want to grate stuff for whatever reason, then yeah, it's a totally reasonable option. But I think for the most people, I think block cheese is probably just more practical and more sensible. But yeah, grating cheese is fun, exactly. It's like it was my favorite job in the kitchen as a kid, because I just get to eat a bunch of cheese. Yeah, that's 100% correct. A giant block, which makes probably 10 times the amount that's in that bag, will be about the same price. Because, well, they know that you're buying one serving's worth, or a meal's worth, which is kind of like, you know, the same thing. What are you doing, buddy? You're not crying, are you? My doggy's crying? Who's crying? No one's crying, okay. I thought I heard my dog's crying. But okay, so we have turned our oil off the heat now. We have got a lovely color to everything. So I'm just going to give her sort of like one final squish here in the pan, like that. We'll just get all that lovely flavor out of there. And let that infuse, baby. And then we're going to have some garlic crunchies for on top of our fries. Oh yeah. So I do want to let that cool down a little bit before I go pouring into this, because this is obviously a Teflon a Teflon thing. So actually, let's just see what temperature our oil is at. Basically put the pot over there, dip our thermometer in. Right, so my oil is currently over 250 degrees. It's about at 275. So that is hot enough currently to blanch potatoes, and we want to cool that down. So there's a couple ways we could do it. We could put it in a bowl, increase the surface area. We could just keep stirring. We could just wait for it to cool down naturally. Lots of different things. We are just going to keep stirring and moving the oil around because that will cool it down. Hey-oh. Ooh, grating blocks of cheese in the food processor. Now you're getting into some next level stuff, baby. It's around £1.50 for a bag of grated cheese and £1 to £2 for a medium to large block. There you go. Hey, here's a fun fact that you might not know because you are a young person, I think. Do you know what the old Irish currency was called before they switched over to the euro? Fun fact, and anyone can answer that. And I'm not talking about the official name, I'm talking about the unofficial name. And there's technically two names. But the old Irish currency, does anyone know what it was called? It sounds like pound. They called them punts. Punts. P-U-N-T, punt. Like you punt a ball or whatever, right? They called them punts, which is just funny if you say it with an Irish accent because it sounds like you're doing a bad impression, right? Which is rude, but right. But yeah, I have old Irish coins in my. I also have some old British coins too. But I have proper old British from when Britain switched to the metric system for money. Because before that, it was farthings and half farthing and all sorts of things. I doubt I would have ever known that. Well, you would have known that if you grew up in a time when you could travel to Ireland and you had to get their currency to hang out there, right? That's the only reason I ever knew it, because when I visited, my first few times when I visited, when I was like, 10 or 13 or whatever, my aunties would give me a couple punts to go down and see the ice cream man now, would you? Get yourself an ice cream lolly. I don't know why they're called ice cream lollies. They weren't lollipops at all. A ridiculous name. Okay, so we've got our little French fries that we're soaking in water. I am just kind of like drying them off because you obviously don't want to put water with oil because that is dangerous and it will hurt you and you will be sad. Hey, thanks for hanging out, the 5 or 6 of you that are just hanging out consistently here. It's awesome. I haven't been that consistent and I'm getting a little bummed out that the views are a little down on Twitch, but I mean, I guess it's to be expected, It's kind of what happens if you get irregular with it. And so thank you so much for being here, because you really are what keeps me going on platforms like this. Okay, let's get this oil in the pan. I'm just trying to think about the best way to do this. All right. Let's pour this in here. And I am going to put all the garlic in here as well. Just because, oh, don't tell me one of those snuck underneath the filter, did they? Did a piece of garlic sneak underneath the filter? I swear I saw it go down there. I swear I saw it go down there. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm a liar. I always love to support you, man. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. Really, it does mean the world to me. It's hard because I'm trying to build myself on like 3 different social platforms at once, Trying to grow on Twitch. I would love it if my Instagram was bigger. And obviously I'm still posting to TikTok 4 or 5 times a day. Which is actually down from the number I was posting a couple months back. I was posting like 8 times a day for a while there. But that was just not sustainable. Unless I did like all duet content, which I've thought about. But would not provide much value to people, I don't think. Okay, I'm just going to give this pan a quick wipe along the side to make sure we're not touching the burner with more grease. We're just going to wipe it out so we don't have any like little burnt bits of garlic that'll get even more burnt and make our oil. all nasty. All right. I stumbled on your TikTok. Aw, thank you so much, Laserdisc Dreams. Hey, well, you should definitely follow the channel, and we'll be doing more and more and more. And hey, one of my lights just died. Lovely. I kind of assumed it would. We're just gonna have to deal with this one, I think. That's okay. Okay, so look, we've got our lovely bit of garlic crunchies in here. Oh, look at that. And we are just going to grab a little spoon here. And we're going to give them a press down through, make sure all the oil is out of those guys, or at least the vast majority is. And I am going to get, hey, hit him with the gifted. Hey, Rand, thank you so much, brother, for the fucking gifted sub, Macbeth. It looks like that one's going to you, so congratulations to Macbeth, and thank you so much, buddy. God, I appreciate it. It really does just brighten me up, you know, when someone is so kind. It can be a small stream or a slow stream, but that just, man, it really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. I found your TikTok during, I think, the Forced Stunt Food vid. Oh, no way. I remember being very few episodes, but I watched them, and yeah, it's been a long time. Dude, that's so cool. It's so funny, because I think I know all the people that have been here since the beginning, and then, like, you know, clearly I don't. Or clearly I'm not as much as I thought, anyway. So this is about cooled down enough. I'm actually going to dilute it with a little bit of regular oil. And like that. And that should kind of cool it down the remainder of the way. Now it doesn't look that different, but let's just give it a little taste. Let's dip our finger in there. Whoa, that has got a very garlicky twist to it. Okay, great. And now comes the emulsification. So I'm going to tilt the bowl down off to the side like that. Can you see that there? Let's just move that a little bit. We're going to tilt the bowl down to the side like this so we can whisk. But the key thing about whisking is doing it continuously. So we're just going to drip drop a couple little drips of oil into this to get started. Literally a couple drops. Whisk it together, make sure it's solid, and then keep going. A tiny little bit of oil at a time, like literally a drop. And you can see first when this happens, the eggs will get thinner. Hey, Metal Brian! Or Brian as we know him sometimes. How you doing, bro? We are making some handmade mayonnaise. I never commented on any TikToks like a couple of months ago. Oh, that's funny. Well, you should have. I love hearing from folks. All right, and then we're just gonna add a little more oil like that, right? And just keep stirring. This would obviously go a lot easier with a whisk, but we don't have a whisk, so we're getting a little whiskey. Because like risky and then it's not very funny. So now I've got just enough oil in here that I can kind of start giving a consistent stream. So we will just do that. And anytime you see it start to split, like you're not mixing fast enough or you've added too much oil, that's okay. Just slow down, stop adding oil for a second, whisk it extra hard, like that, give it a cool stir. And you can see now it's stopping, it's not thinning out anymore, it's not getting more liquidy. Aw, quick stop by because you're at work. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. I don't even know what you do for work. What do you do for work? I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna guess you do something with computers. I'm gonna say maybe like tier B tech, maybe you're like a second tier tech support person, or like maybe you work in a vintage 1990s computer repair shop. That's my guess. That's my guess. I actually don't think that. I have no idea. I'm just making random guesses based on the episode of Mr. Robot that I just watched. You can see this mayonnaise is stainless steel. We make restaurant equipment. Oh, goddamn. Okay, that's so much cooler than I thought. Are you a fabricator? Do you actually like... That's freaking awesome. And also, hey, want to come do my kitchen at my new place? Fly out. Brian will make me a full stainless steel kitchen. No, my wife won't let me put full-on restaurant equipment in the kitchen. She says it's ugly and would cost too much and isn't practical. You can see my mayonnaise is starting to come together. We would definitely call this a sauce, and you can tell it's a sauce because it coats the back of your spoon. Now, coated the back of my spoon several bits of oil ago, but that's okay. You can also tell that we used a lot of egg yolks. Fabrication, dude, that's awesome. I've always wanted to learn how to weld and work with metal. It's one of those things, right? Like you can learn the basics of woodworking, and I think it gets you really far in life, you know? Because then anytime you gotta, put up a wall in your own house or build a tree house or something like that, you kind of have the basics. The basics? Checking in for bus and scale later, good man. But I've always wanted to learn how to work with metal because there's just so much more you can do, building yourself little trailers or building yourself all sorts of cool things. That's awesome. Stainless steel kitchen equipment. I should have guessed, being as you're interested in, I should have guessed it was something food related. Okay, we can see this is starting to thicken up. This is almost where we want it in terms of the thickness of a mayonnaise. And you can see, look at that beautiful, actually you can't really see. Look at that beautiful color on it. It's practically yellow, right? Yeah, we're gonna make some fries. We're gonna make some little, we're gonna fry up some little pan-fried, single-cooked French fries. We're gonna do them sort of Dutch style with a big dollop of mayonnaise on top. All right, so now we're just gonna add the rest of the oil until we basically get the desired consistency that we want, which is a little bit thicker than this. So we keep stirring, like that. Yeah, so we made some garlic-infused oil. We're turning that oil into a mayonnaise. And then, I forgot about the potatoes. Everybody forgets about the potatoes. All right, and then we're just going to give this a quick stir with our whisk, or rather our spatula, just to make sure it's all even. And I'm actually going to be real careful and just sort of scrape off that excess because I don't want to lose any. Oops. That's a stupid way to do it. That. Give it a little taste. Oh yeah, that's garlicky. Needs a little bit of salt in there for sure. A little bit of pepper. And then we can just add basically the rest of our oil. Oh yeah, I forgot to All right, a little bit more oil. Now you can tell you've added too much oil to your mayonnaise when it goes from getting thicker to starting to thin back out. Right, so as I add this, I can whisk it together. I can see that, okay, yep, that's still getting thicker. But when you added too much, essentially it goes in the reverse direction. Right, so you've gone from emulsifying things and making it thick to slowly breaking the sauce and turning it back into a liquid. But I think we've just about the right amount measured out here. And so that might be our last mixing of it. And you can just see, look at that. Beautiful. You got them premium shakers. The pepper looks like the end of the bed frame. Yeah, man. This was a wedding present. This is actually a genuine Peugeot pepper grinder, like the car company Peugeot, because apparently they also make pepper grinders, but It's super. It's one of my favorite wedding presents, and we got some cool wedding presents. And yeah. Okay, I think that mayonnaise is right where I want it in terms of thickness. So I'm going to add the excess oil into the pan there. Now the reason we're not frying, like we want to have a real garlicky thing. The reason we're not going to fry in the garlic oil is because you're not going to really, the oil you fry in doesn't give things a whole lot of flavor. It's not really what oil does. What are you guys doing? Hi, dogs. My dogs want to go outside, so we'll finish up the stream here. Homemade barbecue sauce. Ooh, homemade barbecue sauce is a great idea, man. That is something that you can really make your own. And it's like simple too, you know? Ooh, that is good. That's good. That is a little bit salty. Oh, I made that slightly too salty. That's okay. Ooh, that is delicious. That's garlicky. Need a little bit of that pepper flavor. Tiny little bit, as I say, tiny little bit saltier than it probably should be. But that's okay. Oh, crap. Because it's going to be a dip, not a meal or not like a soup or something like that. So we're just going to stick that in the fridge because it's better cool. Guys, can you go lay down for a minute, please? We're not going outside yet, okay? I gotta finish my stream, okay? People are counting on me. I have a following, you know. They're so rude, my dogs. So rude. I'm joking, they're not rude. Till I can, no. Okay, we're gonna pop our eggs away. Oh yeah. Dogs. We are not going outside yet, guys. You are going to have to wait. So we're going to heat up our oil to about, I would say about 275 or so. So right now it is at about 100 degrees or so. So we're going to wait for that to get up. Oops. How long will this stream be? I'm really enjoying it. We'll probably go probably take another 15 or 20 minutes to finish this up, I would say. At least, oh, I got mayonnaise on my cabinets. And we have agreed to sell this place, and they didn't request mayonnaise on the cabinets. So, yeah. Hey-o. Oh, that's a lovely cup of coffee. Whenever I drink coffee, I turn into Maury the monster. Nick Kroll has like 3 impressions. They're all basically the same. Oh, I don't know. Lola sounds different. It's exactly the same. I actually like Big Mouth. It's a funny show, but Nick Kroll's impressions are not as impressive as sometimes they might turn out to be. Okay. I don't have many utensils, so we have a cupboard for seasonings. Ooh, nice. You gotta have a good little spice cupboard, a little seasoning cupboard. That's essential in my mind. I don't have one right now. All my seasonings and my spices are somewhere else, and it is killing me. All right, so I'm just going to essentially like muddle these little crispy garlic bits by just like mashing them up. We're literally just like rolling our spoon. You can't see that very well because the light's there. We are literally just like rolling our spoon around inside and like just like smashing her down like that. Because I want these to be in like a fine little dust almost like that. Oh, a little dusty boy. And they are like crispy and like fried enough that they should do that nicely. And then those are going to be my toppings. So these are going to be like super garlic potatoes. Super garlic potatoes. Okay, let's test our oil temperature, and we are up to, I think we're up to the right temperature. Yes, we are. We are up beyond the right temperature, actually. We're too hot. Our oil is starting to smoke because it's too hot. Now I need to make sure that I have the correct utensils here and that I have, just Just trying to think, what do I have in case everything goes wrong? It's always good. You never want things to go wrong, but it's always a good idea to plan in case they do. And using oil is something that you can screw up pretty easily. Garlic is the best for veggie. Yes, I agree. I think garlic is just one of the best flavors. Would be even easier way to say that. Like, garlic is just one of the best flavors, and yeah, it really can't be beaten. Okay, so we're just getting our sink ready. In case I sense my oil is getting too hot or it's going to be dangerous, we will just be able to put it right in our sink and smother it with a pot lid. We would be grabbing this large pot lid, and the way you put out a grease fire, if this was furring a fire, you do not do that. Bad idea. What you do is you gradually slide the lid over until you cover it gradually, because that forces the oxygen out and starves your fire. If you just go like this, it traps it, right? And then the second you go like this, because fire needs combustion to happen, and it can't happen in a closed loop, right? What's your favorite fruit? Probably pears. I really like pears, yeah. Not just one, I like both pears. That's a little fruit joke for you there. A little pear joke for you. What's Father Christmas's favorite fruit? What's Father Christmas's favorite fruit, everybody? Or Santa Claus, as we call him in North America. Because I forgot what continent I'm on for a second. Père Noël. There's a joke so pretentious you actually have to know French to get it. Père Noël. It's a bad joke. In French, Father Christmas is Père Noël. Right? Okay, we're going to put this back on our burner because I can see my oil temperature is cooled down nicely. That's the cool thing about adding the potato in there, is we went from the oil being at about 320 degrees to being at about 180 degrees or so? Maybe a little, yeah. I don't know, a little more. I can just see it heating up. So we're still at about the right temperature. Now we are doing these as essentially one pan or one cook French fries, which means we're not going to blanch them and then fry them separately. We're going to kind of cook them at a lower temperature, and then we're going to turn the temperature up and finish them off. So that's why I'm keeping a pretty close eye here, because I know my oil down here is at about 230, 240 degrees, so it's not right where we want it. I don't get it. Nobody gets it. That's what I told you. It's a pretentious, terrible joke. I just made it up in my head. As I say, it's because Father Christmas in French is Père Noël, and so he'd be like, I like pears because my nom est Père Noël. That's it. Sorry, I missed it earlier. Aw. I have such a good little community. I love that you guys all get to know each other a little bit. It's so cool. Oh, I forgot to take. No, I didn't. I took my fish oil today. I've been taking fish oil supplements because, like, I'm in my 80s, and it's what's recommended by my doctor for 80-year-old people. I'm joking. I'm not actually 80. Funny joke. All right, so these are my one cook French fries. And I'm going to check my temperature again, because we might have to turn the pot down or take it off the heat. There's lots of There's lots of ways you can control. Oh my God, I can't talk. Control your oil. So this is at about 240, 250. Yeah, this is at about, well, I don't know. Yeah, about 250 or so. We're going to keep that blanching there. And I'm just sort of like rotating it around because there's probably hot spots on the pan, as there is in 99% of cooking things. There's going to be one part that's slightly hotter than the rest. It's why your steak never like sears perfectly evenly, but that's a good thing. We want a little bit of differentiation, a little bit of stuff to make a difference. Oh yeah. Hasn't been nearly as many stunt food, good food vids as there used to be. Is there any reason you don't mind me asking? No, in fact, I encourage you to ask questions like that. Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons. One, I get a lot of criticism and hate for them because it is a kind of negative attitude to have, and some of it is like, you know, mocking. I'm kind of mocking and making fun of people, some of whom are just home cooks. I usually try to pick accounts that are either really big or that are like restaurants, so I feel it's a little more fair to critique them or whatever. But then, yeah, so there's that element of it. And then there's the business side of things, which a lot of people don't realize. But when brands approach you, and go look at some of the people who just have reaction accounts, right? Tiga Reacts, for instance, or something like that. I saw her when she was at over 1 million followers get a brand sponsorship that I know for a fact paid like $27 a video. And that is a very, very low value. And you cannot make a living off that. So duet content, because it's so viral and it blows up so much, does not pay you very much money. We don't have the Creator Fund in Canada, so I don't literally get less money per video. But just from a brand's perspective, it doesn't put me in a position where I can negotiate. And I can say, look, I create amazing original content. Let me make an amazing original ad for you. And the brand comes back and says, what the fuck do you mean? You just sit on the other side of the screen and rant. But yeah, so there's a lot of that, right? So, but if you look at the Creator Fund and how TikTok values it, is TikTok pays about 4 cents per 1,000 views of the Creator Fund. They pay about 1.5 cents per 1,000 views if that's a duet. But yeah, so TikTok is bad about that, but I don't make any money off the Creator Fund anyway because I'm in Canada. We don't have the Creator Fund, so that's sort of irrelevant. But then yeah, it also just from a brand perspective, it doesn't look very good. Like people don't want to partner with you if you're just a duet account, right? Because it's kind of like low effort content. And like think of all the reaction channels that came and went on YouTube and have died and just faded into obscurity and no one gives a crap about them anymore. And then yeah, I also think that like it's not as fun for me as you might think. I don't actually love doing those videos anymore because, you know, if I get really angry, people are like, "Oh, why are you so mad, bro?" And if I get really sad or if I do silly things, like it's just there's really only 1 or 2 ways to do each video, each reaction video, and it's like I've done 400, 300 stunt food or good foods now, and like the bit is kind of old. Do you know what I mean? If I was on any other platform, I was on a TV station or anything else, right? Like, you wouldn't keep doing the exact same thing over and well, maybe you would. I mean, Tosh.0 and TMZ are still on the air. But yeah, so there's a lot of reasons. I still do them because they do get views and they do bring new people into the account and they do allow, you know, people to see my other content. But there's a reason that I only have one, like, the stunt food videos are my biggest videos. Some of them have like 7, 5, 4, you know, million views, but I only pin one of them to the top of my account because I'm not like, because I'm more proud of I'm more proud about getting 1 million views on a comedy video, like a sketch video where I'm playing a character. I'm more proud of that than I am getting 5 million views on a stunt food video. But yeah, no, Stunt Food Made Good was a series and it did okay. It's just that the views were really, really, really low. And I don't really have any way of judging other than how the video does about, like, do people like my content or not? And so, like, a couple of the Stunt Food Made Good videos got like 100,000 views or like 200,000 views, but none of them got over that benchmark, right? I could make a video that got 5 million views on my channel and then it wouldn't do nearly as well. But maybe I'll bring that back. That might be that might be a good idea to maybe bring Stunt Food Made Good back because people did like it and it did give me more credibility because, you know, oh, he can cook or oh, he is providing value. So yeah, maybe that's a good idea actually. I'm gonna look into making it good again. A lot of the recipes you just can't make good. Like a lot of the recipes would just be like, okay, here's how I make a normal hamburger, you know. But I guess I have to think a little more creatively myself. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. Those are the main ones I would say. I still do them, and you know, if I post 4 times a day, which is like my goal most of the time, I end up doing like 1 or so a day usually. About one out of every 5. I would say 1 out of every 5 vids is probably a stunt food or good food, or sometimes 1 out of every 8. But yeah, well, that's the thing, right? The algorithm does suck quite a bit, right? Because sometimes it works in your favor, and sometimes it just kicks you in the ass, and it's just it's kind of hard to predict which way it's gonna pull on any given day. So, but at the same time, I have an incredibly cool job, and I have a great wife who supports me, and kind of like, because she makes decent money, allows me to have the freedom to make really shitty money, since I do not get paid a lot for doing TikTok full time. Any influencer who tells you they're making a ton of money just on TikTok is a fucking liar. Unless they're at like 5 million followers. Like, even I know people at 1 million who are just lying about how much they make. But yeah, I consider myself incredibly lucky and privileged. Don't get me wrong. Amid the sort of like, you know, figuring out where my place is as a creator. But yeah. All right, we're gonna take our beautifully cooked 1-pan chips or French fries, depending on what part of the world you're from. If you were at one time a British colony, you probably... Oh, no, wait, no, that's not true. We were a British colony. We called them French fries. What am I talking about? I don't have the proper utensils, so I'm essentially using just these this knife and this fork to pick these up and to sort of strain the oil on my little spatula here. Like that, which is also why I have the paper towel in the bowl, because I want to drain off as much of that oil as possible. This is going to get more and more difficult as there's less of them in here. Also, hey, can we just do a quick like reaction and what do you guys think of what's happening? Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. Yeah, YouTube, you make a lot more money just because they have way better ad revenue, and there's like better sponsorships on. Well, people pay more for sponsorships on there because companies see a lot of value in it. It has a lot more direct conversion. You can sell a lot more things a lot easier on YouTube. But you know, it's all a learning experience. You're always growing, you're always changing. So who knows what it'll be in 5 years or a year or whatever else. Okay, I'm just gonna get some of the excess oil off these petarders, like that. Pop them in the bowl like that. We are going to hit them with a little bit of salt. Not too much though, because we know our French fries are pretty salty. Get it? Because like they're mad. The French fries are mad or whatever. I applaud Chris Rock's composure and restraint as a comedian. I'm sure he would have verbally destroyed that man as him. Yeah, I know, eh? Chris Rock, because all he could have said was like, oh boy, like, keep your wife's name out of my mouth. Well, tell your wife to keep other guys' dongs out of her mouth. You know, since they're in an open relationship and she openly cheated. I don't know, there's a lot of, I gotta say, Will Smith, I'm not, not for me. Not for me anymore. There's a quote from, Tilly said, he was laughing at the joke till he saw her face. There's a quote from Jimmy Kimmel the other day that was like, a lot of people think it's fake. I mean, honestly, I think that it's not that crazy to think that it's fake. But I think that the part that Jimmy Kimmel said, he was like, you know, yesterday, nobody in Hollywood disliked Will Smith. You know, everyone basically thought Will Smith was a real nice guy and everything like that. And now he doesn't have a single comedian friend, because no comedian is going to be friends with a guy who punched someone over a joke. I mean, I don't care. Like, the joke was probably in poor taste, and it was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't stand up and make that joke. But at the same time, words and fists are very different things, you know? But yeah, it did bring major attention to the Oscars. I don't know if the Oscars is intelligent enough, because a lot of people said that when they read do you remember when Steve Harvey read the wrong winner? And said it was, yeah, basically like screwed, I can't remember who it was, La La Land or something like that, and basically like said they were the winner when they clearly were not. But all right, my friends, we have got a crazy good looking meal here. I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these crispy garlic bits all over this bad Larry, and then we're gonna put a couple of them, right on the top of this little mayo here. My friends. Was he defending her though? Like, would you want to go out with your husband if you thought that every time someone made a bad joke, he was going to punch someone in the face? Because, I mean, the first time you do that in public, you're going to get arrested. Like, I don't know if that's defending someone. That just, if my wife started punching women who insulted me, I would not feel safe with her out in public. I would feel unsafe. Why do you want someone who's going to get in a fist fight every time someone insults you? I get insulted a lot. Can you imagine if my wife got in a fist fight with every single person who called me fat in my comment section or made fun of my teeth? Oh my God. She'd be beating the shit out of people all day. But I certainly wouldn't feel safe going out with her because I'd worry that she'd get in a fight that she couldn't handle and then that person would attack me. And like, yeah, I don't think Chris Rock was going to risk attacking him, but like, Chris Rock would have been well within his right to hit him back. And then suddenly, now your husband's not, like, what if Chris Rock's really good at fighting? I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I respectfully, it is not quite my personal take. Now I'm just trying to think how I'm going to take a photograph of this. Let me run and get my camera. No, I agree his actions were inappropriate, but the defense of his wife is admirable. Yes, I would say he should have defended her using words. That's what I would say. I don't know where my actual camera battery is. Okay. But okay, well, let's take a couple bites and then I'll cut off the stream and we'll take a picture with my camera after. All right. French fry, mayo. I mean, holy crap. I love garlic, so this is like, oh my God. I mean, the French fries could be a little better if they were like double deep fried and stuff. But this is like a solid, this is an 8.3 out of 10. This is amazing. It is the garlickiest, most lovely mayonnaise I've had in a while. Taste a little crunchy boy here. Now, the crunchy garlic is a little bit bitter, but like enough that it's very tolerable. Yeah, that's good. My friends, that is the stream. Bussin' scale, this is an 8.3, Macbeth. And this is a solid 8.3. I am hell impressed. If you've learned anything today, make your own freaking mayonnaise, my friends. Make your own mayonnaise. Let's get a quick up-close shot. Look at that. Look at that beautiful boy. Okay, my friends. There'll be some pictures on my Instagram. We'll be on again on Thursday, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Take care of yourselves out there. Drink some water. Tell someone you love them today. Whether it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your non-binary lover, your dog, your cat. Tell them they are loved because people need to hear that. I have heard some really nice comments telling people how much they love me and giving me amazing feedback, and I am the luckiest guy in the world that I get to experience that. And you can do that for someone else. You don't have to have an online platform or anything. You can do that too. So go out there, tell someone you love them today. Whether it's someone that hears it all the time or someone you've never told it to before, people really, really appreciate it. Know that I love you, each and every one of you, very, very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Okay.